Hello and welcome to this edition of Eat Right with Rouses. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker. Very glad you're joining us. However you're joining us, we appreciate it. And we also appreciate being joined by our favorite dietitian, April Sins. Hello, April.
Hey Keith, how are you today?
I am very, very well. Thank you so much. And it is this festive time of year, right? And I'm familiar with
Yeah.
pumpkin. I'm not too
Mhm.
familiar with pumpkin blondies, but I hear they have more fun,
That's right.
right?
Yes, yes. That's right. These pumpkin blondies are a lot of fun.
All right,
So
very
I'm
cool.
going to tell you, these are just a really fantastic way to use pumpkin. And a lot of people like to use their canned pumpkin, or
Hmm.
maybe you bake it from fresh and then make your own homemade pumpkin.
Right?
But this is a really nice recipe to be able to incorporate that and have kind of a fun and different dessert,
Okay.
aside from pumpkin pie. And if you like pumpkin pie, we have
Right?
plenty of that at Rouse's as well.
That's exactly right.
So, but canned pumpkin is super convenient. And what I love about it is in a half a cup of canned pumpkin, you can actually get 100% of the daily value of vitamin A,
Oh,
which is
wow.
really important for vision, heart,
Hmm.
and lung health. So, really, really easy way to incorporate that. And we're
Okay.
actually going to use a whole can of pumpkin. So, I'm going to show you this
Okay.
quick recipe.
All right.
And this is the quick version of it right here. But really, at home, you're going to bake this. Okay.
Okay. Right.
But I'm going to show you what it looks like.
Okay.
And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a whole can of pumpkin. Make sure when you get the pumpkin, you get the plain pure pumpkin, not the one that has like not a pumpkin pie filling, just the
Oh,
plain
okay.
pure pumpkin, okay?
Okay.
And then and any brand will work, and then we're gonna just incorporate that into here. The whole can goes in there. Now imagine, whenever you add pumpkin to something, and you could add pumpkin to like sauces, you can add it to so many different things.
Hmm.
But these are going to be it really retains the moisture content of the pumpkin in there. I'm going to add one egg to this,
Okay.
and then the next ingredient is going to be some light brown sugar,
Hmm.
and this is about 3/4 of a cup of light brown sugar. And you can use a sugar substitute. There, we do have some brown sugar alternatives at Rouse's if you're looking for that as
Okay.
well to kind of lower the calories and sugar content on that. And you mix that around. And what we're going to actually add as well is going to be about a tablespoon of some pumpkin pie spice.
Okay.
And we're going to add about not that might not that was a teaspoon, and then a
Teaspoon. Okay.
teaspoon of vanilla. We're
Okay.
going to add about 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt in
Okay.
there, and about a teaspoon of baking powder, and we're going to mix that around. And then one more ingredient that we're going to add to this while it's the wet ingredients
Mm-hmm.
is going to be some oil.
Okay.
And I'm using a little bit of avocado oil.
Ooh.
um, yeah, so and you can use whichever kind you like to bake with, then
Yeah.
you use that one.
But
Okay.
avocado oil is one of that
And
healthy oil, right?
it is, I love it because it has a lower it's higher in unsaturated fats in
Right.
there. And then it's a high temp oil, so it's very versatile.
Okay.
Now, once I have that in there, I'm going to be adding in a combination of almond flour and oat flour. Okay, so I
Ooh.
have a little oat flour right here. That's a cup of oat flour, and it's going to be a cup and a half of the almond flour. Okay, and
Hmm.
now what this is going to add is some nice whole grains in there, and then the almond flour is a lower carbohydrate flour. And so that's great if you're looking to save some carbs on your
Yeah.
desserts as well. But it also adds a nice flavor too. So it really makes a nice flavor combination. You can add white chocolate chips or chocolate chips to this. I'm more
Okay.
of a chocolate chip fan, so I'm adding that. And what you do is just bake this. What you're gonna do is take a pan and
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna layer it with parchment paper
Okay.
because otherwise this is going to stick to the bottom. Okay.
Okay. Because it's so
So
wet.
layer with yeah. So layer
Okay.
with parchment paper, flatten this out, sprinkle a few more chocolate chips on top, and then you bake it for about 30 minutes. And then you let it rest for about 20 minutes just to kind of let it cool, and so that way it doesn't fall apart when you take it out. And
Right.
when you take it out, you can cut it into some nice squares and make some
Wow.
really great little pumpkin blondies or brownies, whatever you want to call them. And it really makes a nice, unique dessert that is really pumpkin forward, and it's very nutritious because remember all that vitamin A that's in that canned pumpkin. So it's
Right.
a really super simple dessert that you can make. You can make it for Thanksgiving or just make it for just the weekend if you're having family and friends over and you just want to have a little sweet bite together. So,
Yeah.
and this would also pair well. I think this would pair well with coffee
With
too.
anything.
So,
That'll pair well
yeah,
with anything.
or
And
milk.
if you still got some pumpkins left over, from
Hmm.
last month and all the events that went on, and it's still good, then you know what?
Hmm.
If you're going to carve it up, might as well use some fresh pumpkin, or just go get some out the can. It's so much easier to use and get
Oh
twice
yeah.
your daily serving that you need of vitamin A, which is just
Yeah, you
really
definitely
cool.
could. You definitely could. And one other thing, whenever I tasted it, is it would also pair well with like some shredded coconut.
Coconut.
I think would be great on the top of this as well. I mean, that would also add another thing. But this also kind of tastes a little bit breakfasty to me too, sort of like a muffin, like on the muffin
Right.
side.
Right.
And so you can, use it as one like a little breakfast item too.
Seems
So
very
yeah,
versatile. I love it. And
yeah,
look,
very
we've
versatile,
done
very
the
fun.
almond milk and the oat milk, but it's really nice to be able to see those other options as they
Hmm.
provide some of that protein for you. So great options
Hmm.
as well. All right, I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to our pumpkin blondies and seeing how that works for
Yes.
breakfast and a snack. So
Right,
we
right.
appreciate it as always, April.
Hmm. Yeah, thank you so much, Keith.
All
Great to
right.
see you.
And that will do it for this particular edition of Eat Right with Rouses. Don't go anywhere. Go hello more local programming right here on HTV.